Welcome back to the channel. Something that I did since my last video was fence in the backyard, which is really cool. So I'm going to introduce the garden coming this way. Today is June 29th. So it's been about 5 weeks since my last video. I thought this would be a good time to show you all the garden so you can see how the trees are holding up as it gets into summertime and it's really hot out here. So let's take a peek and see how everybody's doing here. Here we've got our varieties, and it's looking good. No burn, good shape, good green color. Not a whole lot going on here. This tree is going to really shine in the fall, but right now, not too much going on. This mystery tree here, I think I figured out what it was or what it is, and it is a bloodgood in my opinion. So it started to lose a little bit of its red color, you know, as it's gotten hotter here, and it's in a mostly shaded area except for the late day sun here. But honestly, still holding up pretty good, and it gave me really nice red color for about 10 weeks. But anyways, not bad. Pretty sure it's a bloodgood Japanese maple. Here's my Crimson Queen, not showing any burn, but also not showing any red, which is really disappointing because this tree is supposed to be one of the better ones at holding its red color, even in mostly shade, and it's just not doing that. I have to admit, I'm disappointed. Over here, we've got Acer japonicum vitefolium, and I am loving this tree. Beautiful shape on the leaves, nice big leaves, get like some kind of bronzed edging on it, no burn whatsoever. And I like how it's a lighter green, which you can see kind of brightens up that back area there. That's a shaded area most of the day, and with the darker fences back there, the fact that that tree stays that bright green most of the year, not to mention amazing fall color, it's going to be really good for that back corner. We got another Acer japonicum here. Indian Summer looks quite a bit different than the vitefolium. It's definitely got more blushing colors, which is pretty cool, but it also kind of cups down with the leaf. Neat feature, very cool tree. Last time I was doing this video, you saw that I had the sister ghost in full sun. I did not like how much that tree was burning, and I did something that you're not supposed to do with maples, is I dug it up after it had already been in leaf and I moved it to the shade here. But to be honest with you, it looks great. It now has its nice variegation. It's nice and green and cream colored, which is what I think this tree looks best as. I think it's a much better tree for the shade and only part sun. I do not think it's meant to be in full sun in zone 8A. So I moved it over here, and it's very happy in its pot right there. Moving over here to Makawa Yatsubusa. Still doing great, no burn whatsoever. A little bit of new growth there, pretty cool. But Makawa just looking good. Got the Ryus in here, and it's doing good. It is showing a little bit of heat stress on some of these leaves over here. That's what it means when you start getting some fall color in the summer like this. But overall, it seems to be handling it just fine. Ideally, I would have had it in a bigger pot, but I just didn't have one at the time, so I'll have to find a place to either put that in the ground this fall or put it in a bigger pot. Acer pictum usugumo, still doing great. Don't notice any burn on the leaves, seems to be handling the sun really good. You can still see some of that creamy variegation in here, super cool. I think this is gonna, if it gives us good fall color, I think this will be one of my more favorite plants because I just love the structure and the shape of those leaves and how much new growth we put on this year. Pretty cool plant. Geisha Gone Wild, I said last video, it was pretty boring, and I'm gonna say at this point still pretty boring. I mean, you just can't hardly see the variegation unless you're right up on it. It's really just from a distance, just looks green. I am gonna be curious to see if it puts on any new pink growth or something, but right now, just not very impressive. My Iwajima Tsunagu was the highlight of my garden 6 weeks ago, and it continues to be. I mean, not only is it a bright, I mean, it's like a yellow, it's also got that like flame red border on some of those leaves. I mean, this plant is just rocking it out. Pretty much everything from here over here is in a lot of sun, and it's doing great. Almost no burn on the leaves, maybe just a couple little spots there, but all in all, still one of my favorites. Here we've got Bihu, continuing to look just fine. It's got a little bit of blushing on some of the leaves, kind of a bleached color a little bit. Overall, it's doing really good. No issues here with Bihu, just doing Bihu type stuff. Here we've got Rhode Island Red. A lot of times people say this greens up in the summer as it gets hot, and maybe we're getting a little bit of that, but overall it's holding the color pretty good. And I have to admit, even the leaves that green up a little bit, if you look closely, you can almost kind of see the veins there. I mean, it's kind of a neat contrast. I kind of like it. Very, very cool plant, doing really good with the sun, aside from just a few little leaves there. Looks great. Here we've got Benny Hoshi. Not doing pretty much anything right now. Getting a little bit of coloring on some of the edges. Nice little kind of lime green color, but nothing really to talk about with Benny Hoshi right now. It's not burning in the sun at least, so it's doing pretty good. This right here is Benny Kawa. And honestly, it's one of my more exciting plants right now, because basically everywhere where there's new growth on it, it's putting out some red and lighter green color all throughout this tree. And if the sun hits it just right, it really glows. I mean, you can obviously see that red bark in there too. I mean, it's just really good structure. Amazing sun tolerance. You know, putting out some new growth with some really nice colors there. Shaping up to be one of my favorites. Here we've got Fountain of Youth. This is one that almost died on me last year, so I would expect this to take a little while longer before it looks its best. I mean, lots of dieback, as you can see, but I kind of like this right here. I mean, it's got a really neat root ball there, and this is really known for its fall color, so I can't wait to see that. But overall, it's doing just fine. Little to no burn. A little bit of the blushing, some of that salmon pink blushing, but not too much. But this is going to be prettier later in the season. Hana Matoi in full sun, zone 8A, still showing really nice pink color and little to no burn. This tree is great. Just an absolutely wonderful tree. Twombly's Red Sentinel. Color hasn't changed too much since my last video. I am having to deal with a little bit of Japanese beetles. FYI, if it looks like that, Japanese beetles. But it was putting out some new growth for the first time ever, which is pretty cool. I mean, the new growth is very bright red. Very bright red. So, be interested to see how that kind of starts to grow. Over here, we've got Fire Glow. This is probably the spot in my yard with the most sun. Kind of dark right now because it's in the shade. It's kind of in the late evening, but it's very vigorous this year. This is the most growth it's put on by far. Still has that red to the backside. And, you know, really putting on some nice new growth this year. It's doing great. Doing great. Kiyohime here. Still continuing to fill out that area that got eaten by squirrels. Hopefully, in the next year or two, we'll get this area filled out through here. But it's putting on a lot of new growth. That's all. I mean, that's 6 inches of new growth just this year. So it's doing really well. Really, really well. Now the Siriu is doing things that I talked about in the last video it would do. And if you look at it, every bit of new growth on that Siriu is very bright green, if not yellow. And it looks really cool. You can zoom in here and kind of see. Very neat color, very vigorous grower. I mean, this tree is just putting on growth like a champ. Absolute champ, it's doing great. Here we've got Orangeola. Again, my goal is to let that tree kind of weep down the side of this hill here, which I think will be really pretty, right at the base of the Sapphire Nymph Atlas Cedar, which has put on a decent amount of growth right here this year. So it's doing really well. This will really show out in the winter when everything else is kind of dead here, or at least dormant. And here with the Orangeola, it hasn't really put on its summer growth that it's known for. It's getting a little bit right here that you can kind of see, but probably in another couple weeks, you'll see some bright red new growth flushes on this tree, and I'll show you that next time. Now here's where I had the Sister Ghost before, and I replaced it with a Amber Ghost that I just absolutely love the structure of, that I had to come home with. And it seems to be handling the sun a lot better. As you can see, really nice color. It's got these like kind of white spots on it, but you can still see the variegation. And even though it's got some of those spots on it, the leaves aren't burning at all. And this is full sun. This tree is really cool. No burn on it at all, even though I planted it just a few weeks ago when it was very hot outside. This really cool plant, really looking forward to watching it grow up. Here is our Acer pseudosibodianum, Korean maple, and surprisingly, very little burn on these leaves. It's supposed to be cold tolerant, but I would say it's also pretty heat tolerant too. I mean, a little bit of burn on the new leaves, but no dieback on the stems. I mean, for example, this right here, this is all new growth. I mean, it's 1.5 feet of new growth. Leaves aren't burning. Everything looks really good on this tree. It's supposed to be known for its fall color, so I can't wait to see that. Here's my new fence here also. So this right here is my Mystic Jewel. And I definitely wanted to show you the new growth flushes on this tree, which they are awesome. And there's several places where the new growth flushes are coming out. There's another spot right there, all new growth. This tree really likes to put out new growth flushes in the summer. No burn on the leaves, really cool new growth flushes. Full sun, awesome tree. All right, we're more than halfway done. We're gonna move to the front yard. Here's our tomato garden over here doing a pretty good job. All right, so as you remember, the two trees planted up here on this slope are lemon lime lace and red dragon. The lemon lime lace is in full sun, like XX. The red dragon starts getting a little shade at about 3 o'clock. Still doing really well. Let's go see how they're doing. Let's see if there's any burn. Red dragon's doing great. No burn whatsoever. Nice red color considering it's almost July. This tree's known for holding red in the summer, and it's living up to that. Now this tree, lemon lime lace, is in full sun 12 plus hours a day. And check this out. No burn whatsoever. It's doing great. And what's pretty cool about this, you can't really see it here, but it's definitely brighter than the Viridis in the backyard. It's brighter. When the sun hits it at just the right angle, it kind of glows. And my ultimate goal here is for these two trees to contrast off each other, especially in the fall. Bright red, bright yellow. But anyways, they're doing great. I like how you can look up into their structure on this hill. Really cool. I'm enjoying that. Tamukiyama, I did some pruning back. I didn't like how it was covering so much of the variety I had there, so I definitely kind of thinned it out and got it up off the ground a little bit. What's kind of cool is since I thinned it out, putting on some nice new growth. Very, very bold red. Very bold red. But the rest of the tree as a whole is holding up good. Kamukiyama, even in full sun, not showing any signs of burn, keeping good color. It's a tank for a reason. Ginkgo American, this is in full sun. And the ginkgo leaves get a little bit lighter in full sun, but they don't burn. And even when they get lighter and they're in full sun, they still give amazing fall color. So, love ginkgo trees. Now the Kamagata, I feel like is putting on even more new growth than it did last year. All of this new growth. Let me try to zoom in a little bit and show you kind of what it looks like. So it's kind of like an orangey red border new growth. And what's really cool about the new growth here, new growth on Japanese maples definitely tends to burn in this kind of environment, especially in full sun. The new growth on this Kamagata isn't burning at all. It's kind of amazing that it can put out this much new growth in full sun, zone 8A, and not burn. It's kind of incredible. So, heading over here to the Crimson Queen now. We're almost done, we have a couple minutes left. Crimson Queen holding awesome color, even almost July. This is in full sun. Crimson Queen has a reputation of not being able to handle full sun in the south. Mine does handle full sun in the south, and it looks great. Looks great. I'm gonna go up on the porch here. Here's the Toyama Nishiki, and I've got some interest. I haven't had too much to show lately of it because it hasn't been doing so good, and it's still struggling. But check this out. Look at that new growth. That is wild. A little bit over here too, a little bit over there. It'd be cool one day when that's kind of sprouting up all over this tree. You're seeing a little bit more coming up over here and over there. So this will continue. It seems to be making a comeback, which is cool. Tattoo, doing amazing, like always. We got an Aureum here. Not too much going on. Dancing Peacock, Japanese Princess, Mayday. This is a Baldsmith I got just a couple weeks ago. It's not really doing too much right now. I'm going to definitely get it into more sun. And here's my Golden Falls. Always wanted one. Got it from Mr. Maple just a few weeks ago. Can't really see it now in the shade, but this is a bright green, greenish yellow. Gonna be really cool. I wanted to make an announcement on this right here. This is a Abies Coreana Blower Eskimo on Firma, and it's supposed to be that if it's on Firma, it can allow these to handle the temperatures and the humidity here in the southeast. This plant, it's not handling the temperature and humidity in the southeast. I'm very disappointed. I mean, the only reason I got this, especially on Firma, is I thought it could survive around here, but it's not even one season, and it's just not looking good. I don't really know what I can do with it, to be honest. I got it in morning sun, afternoon shade. I water it every day, and it drains right through, so I know it's not staying too wet. But maybe every other day I water it, but it's just not getting it done. Just not getting it done. Mayday still looks amazing. Hopefully one of these days I can get some new growth flushes on the Japanese Princess or Mayday, but I just haven't had any in the couple years that I've had these plants. So not too much to see right now. Almost done. Here we got my Summer Gold, which is really glowing with that sun on the back. This gets blasted with afternoon sun in a pot, and it's got just a little bit crispy of the leaves, but overall, Summer Gold doing wonderful, as is Shadeva Gold. Shishikahira doing great. Pave Starfish rocking it out, still keeping that cup down foliage. I read somewhere that you need to keep it in sun if you want to keep the cup down foliage, which every one of my leaves has nice cup down foliage, so it's doing great. Here's the last one I want to talk about. My Lillian's Jewel dropped all its leaves. Now on the bright side, it is pushing new growth, which you can kind of see. I'm trying to get the right angle on it. You can kind of see it there, but it is pushing new growth. I don't know what happened. It was amazing for the first like 6 weeks of the season, but then it just, I don't know if it took too long for me to get in shade, but it just dropped all its leaves and now it's coming back. We'll see if it's able to make a full comeback. I'll keep you posted on that, but I was a little disappointed. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.